Any radius from N scale 9" all the way up to as wide as you'd want to make them.
Boy, how I wish they had this stuff when I was a kid. Would have saved a lot of frustration. And it all glues together.
All glues together. All we need is a low temp glue gun.
Let's heat up the glue gun.
Let's go for it. All I do is real quickly get a spot of glue on there, run a bead down, run a bead back up.
And the faster you go, the thinner the bead you get, right?
Right, and the faster it'll dry, because you just don't need hardly any adhesive at all to hold this down. A couple of seconds and it's there.
That's
it's
already
just that
there.
quick. If you want to hand me another one, we'll go for a second one.
And using this technique, we're just going to fill in the whole layout with 2" riser. Now don't go away, because when we come back, we'll be attaching the inclines. You know, that's where the train goes up or goes down. Very cool.
We're in the beginning stages of assembling a scenic railroad layout from a kit.
The point we've gotten to is we've laid the base, and we've gotten all the 2" riser. And now the fun part, in my opinion, attaching all the incline, or as railroaders like to say, the grades. And Woodland Scenic supplies them in 2, 3, and 4%.
That's correct.
Now, when I was a kid, doing this freehand was extremely difficult. You had to get it just right.
Well, because the trains really don't want to climb the grades as well. If you suddenly have a 3% going into 4 or 4 into 6, you want to keep everything nice and even so the engine can kind of get a steady pull. And the other big factor is that the couplers between the cars tend to misalign and come uncoupled.
If it's wavy.
If it's wavy.
Yeah.
So we want to keep everything as smooth as we possibly can.
So from what you're telling me, once you establish a 2%, you got to stay there.
It would be better to stay there, yes. Come out on a level, and then if you want to change grades, change it after you've gone for a car length or two before you change again. All
right, what we're going to do on this outer radius, we're going to put an incline going up, and on this inner one going down.
We'll size this one out. These first starter inclines are so thin that I found it's a little bit better if we put the glue down on the base this time rather than trying to put it on the actual piece itself. So we'll put it down on there, and we'll start here where we've got a nice solid piece to hold on to. These are a little bit trickier, so I'll get you to help me as we start off here. We want to line up to that point, and then we'll just follow the risers right around.
All right, now we're going to start from the other end, the high point. The top. Right.
Come down. Now, one thing I want to point out is these do have an up and a down. Where it's a 90-degree angle, that's your base. If you turn it over, you'll notice that it's leaning in, and that's not the right way to start. So check it first, and then flip it over, put it on with the 90-degree side down.
Down.
And we'll just continue this curve right on around.
All right, now that we have all the risers and inclines installed, the next thing is the track bed.
And it's a foam material. It has a slope already on it of 2 to 1, just like the prototype. And it's going to be a great roadbed material for us to affix the track onto later on.
This really quiets the train down, doesn't it?
Right, it makes it run a whole lot quieter.
Now, you could also use cork, right? Mm-hmm. But this is what's supplied in the kit, and it's good stuff.
It's good stuff, and it works well, right. One thing that I do to make it work is I only work a small piece at a time, and I'm going to use a low-temp glue gun because it's a little faster. And I'm just going to use a piece of scrap that I've cut out of the risers as a screed. And now, if you'll help me, we'll line it up right there. And then I just kind of keep it centered on the riser as I bend it around.
rolling right along here. We've got the base down, the risers, the inclines, the track bed. The next thing is the track. And Atlas offers a set of tracks specifically for the river pass. And that really takes the guesswork out, doesn't it, Miles?
Right, exactly. It follows right along with where every section of track ought to fall onto the layout, and they supply you with each and every piece that you need.
All right, what's next?
Next thing we'll do is we'll lay the rest of these tracks out, and then we'll figure out exactly where we're going to put our electrical connections on the railroad. And I've kind of already worked it out that we're going to do a connector here, 2 wires here, and 2 wires here.
Okay.
And we've done that again on the front tracks, the back track, and on the far end. That way the train doesn't have to move more than about 3 of these sections before it's into another power feed.
So what you're doing, from the power pack, you're branching out and serving electricity all over the layout.
That's correct. So we have the least amount of voltage drop that we can possibly get.
Consistent voltage throughout the whole layout.
Right. It's a big key to having trains run reliably.
Okay. All right, now don't go away.